Hello and welcome to Sports Talk, a wrap-up of the spring sports season at East Brunswick High School. Hi, I'm Ken Saroka, and I'm joined in studio by Chris Yannazzo, the Supervisor of Athletics for the East Brunswick Public Schools. Chris, here we are on the first Monday of June recording this, and we're supposed to do a wrap-up show, and yet we're going to have several sports involved here that haven't quite wrapped up. And I guess for you as an athletic director to go this deep into the season, this deep into June with several of your sports teams and competitors has to be really satisfying.
Oh, it's great. It's a good problem to have. We still have volleyball, softball, track, and tennis still competing. So that's a big chunk of our spring sports that should be done that are still competing well into the state tournament. So it's a good sign for EB.
Let's start first, though, with the sport that has completed, and that's baseball. Out of the blue season, I mean, we don't usually talk about baseball as our lead spring sport, but we have a great team this year and a great ending to the season. Well, let's talk first about the season and some of the key contributors to this team.
Sure. So the baseball team and Coach Kenny were Red Division champions, GMC champions. They finished with a 21-3 and 1 tie record. So great record this year. The guys just gave it their all every day they were out there. It was impressive to see. They had a great camaraderie. It was a family attitude that Coach Kenny tries to bring to his program, and the guys played for each other. And you could see that in some of the late games where we won multiple games by 1 run. So this 21-3 record could have quickly gone in the wrong direction, but these guys never gave up. They continued to play hard, and it showed in the GMC championship game.
And talking about that GMC championship game, a really weird way to end it in the bottom of the 7th inning. A bunt, running in the baselines, and yet recovering from that call, potentially going against the Bears, and a 1-0 victory with the pitcher doing the damage on both sides.
He had to help himself there. So like you said, there was we bunted to move a runner across. And as they were throwing down the first baseline, our runner was inside the baseline, so that's interference. Therefore, he was called out, and our runner, who was on first and about to come around and score because of an error, got called back to first base. So after we celebrated and everybody was happy, we just won 1-0. The umpires called it off, brought us all back. And thankfully, in that same inning, like you said, Tyler Burnham, our pitcher, who it's a pitcher's duel the entire game, he was able to hit a base hit and score the winning run, and it was a great, glorious victory there for the kids.
Any other key contributors here for the Bears this year that you want to make reference to and note here?
Sure. For our all-GMC team, we had Nick Clemente, who was our second baseman. He is also a pitcher. J.J. Ganzaroli, that played in right field. We had Danny Iannarone playing at shortstop. Multiple seniors this year that really had their hand in the pot somewhere to help make this team great. And some of those guys that did well, those were some of them there.
Nice ending, though, with the GMCs, because the team had been, I think, even in the same week, had been bounced out of the state tournament rather early.
Right. With
that record 21-3, you would expect them to go very far, but to have them come back and have them have the focus, the drive, the determination to come away with some kind of a trophy, some kind of championship here, it really speaks to Coach Chris Kenny and the kind of discipline and mental focus that he was able to get with his team.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, his main focus is he tries to make a family attitude, and the kids play for each other, and it showed that the passion that they all have. He was actually named to the Coach of the Year for the Red Division, so he did a great job this year, and they were the #1 seed in Central Jersey. But in baseball, a pitcher can come out of nowhere. You can have a down day like we did, and we faced a pitcher that's going to Rutgers from North Brunswick, and unfortunately had a good day that day and knocked us out of the tournament. But like you said, they had the drive, the focus to make sure that they got that final victory in the GMC championship.
Now let's go to the girls' side of that equation with the softball team, who is still playing. You mentioned that going on right now. Can you explain just that first, where they are right now and what we're looking forward in terms of the girls softball team?
Sure. So right now the girls are going to play down at Rowan University tomorrow at 1:30, and they're playing Egg Harbor Township. They had an outstanding couple of games here, a great run here in the state tournament. They're doing an outstanding job. They're 22-6. And quietly 22-6, you didn't hear too much about them, and now they really caught on fire towards the end of the year, and they can score a ton of runs. They hit well. Some of the outstanding contributors there, we've got 8 seniors, I think, on that team. 8 seniors that are all doing their job, and they all find their way to start on the team, whether they be a designated player or they all play out in the field, but they all have their hands in the pot, like I said, with baseball, and they all, with their leadership, have really proven to do a great job.
And the game to get us to there, a squeaker Allie Warren apparently came up with a big hit, and also, did she pitch that game too, I think?
She did not pitch, no. Kaylee Dwyer's the pitcher. And yeah, Allie get a walk-off single. And it was just in dramatic fashion, of course. And she hit the ball. We were down, and the girls ended up tying it up. And then this was the hit that made it. The ball, she hit down the right field line, tailed away from the fielder out there, and just landed in fair territory. And everybody circled around the bases, and it was, great excitement at home plate for them to win. I believe it was 3-2 the final. It was an outstanding day for the Bears because we had 2 sectional championships in the same day.
And again, the same kind of situation. They get bounced out of the GMC tournament and yet turn around in the state tournament and are still competing even as we speak. Yeah,
they had a tough loss in the GMC semifinals against South Plainfield, who was the #1 seed. I believe it went to the 9th or 10th inning. Can't remember offhand, but again, they had an unfortunate where South Plainfield had the walk-off hit and scored and won that game. But again, coaches do a great job. The kids are able to stay focused while as senior leadership and keep it focused and really have that push now into the state tournament.
And any standouts here in terms of honors and awards for this team?
Sure. So our all-GMC team, Ashley Venacore, Samantha Smalley, Kaylee Dwyer, and on the Red Division team was Allie Warren. Some of those seniors that are in there, those are some of the outstanding accomplishments that were shown by the coaches when they do their decisions for their all-conference teams.
All right, so let's shift our attention to tennis. And one of my students who is absent today from class, is participating. He's
playing today.
Yeah, he's playing today. Yeah, that's right, Josh Marshalik. And he's going for an unusual, I guess, you don't expect repeats, do you, in tennis or in any of these individual sports?
It's very rare. Usually it's the senior with a whole lot of experience who ends up winning the tournament. But like you'd said, Josh had won it last year as a junior. He comes back. He's the #1 seed in first singles in the state. And he's already pushing his way through. And just before we started today, I got a text from Coach saying that he won his next round and he'll be continuing again. So he's having a great season. The team had a great season. They finished 14-4, losing twice to perennial powerhouse in the GMC, J.P. Stevens, and then a tough loss to Montgomery in the sectional finals. Another perennial, very, very good team. So, other than that, second in the GMC, and the guys really did play hard. There's a young core group and a couple senior leadership, like Josh is one of them, that really pushed this team to do well.
And again, we're waiting on the results as we speak.
Yeah.
So if your phone goes off.
If my phone goes off, it'll probably be Josh's result.
Okay. All right, let's shift our attention outdoors to the track. And something new, the first ever EB Invitational track tournament. I know we were off camera talking about it. And tell me how that came about. Tell me how that got organized, who was the driving force behind it, and how did it go?
I want to say the coaches were really the driving force, and they sat down with me and they just said, we have such great facilities here at East Brunswick. It would be awesome to just showcase that and showcase the talent that we have out on the track and give our kids an opportunity to, show the great things that we can do at home. We go to all these invitationals for track. That's usually where you get a lot of your competitions in. So we tried it. We had a great booster club support, great parental support. The administration supported us full steam ahead. We had over 30 teams there. It was a great day, beautiful weather, as you can see here on the screen. It was an outstanding day. And the best part about it is our boys and girls ended up being champions on that day. And they beat some great powerhouse teams that were there for that opening weekend, really, of invitationals. Girls beat South Brunswick, which they unfortunately lost to twice throughout the year moving forward. And the boys also, did a great job, and they won the tournament as well, or the invitational.
How was that received in terms of attendance and coverage by the local media? How did that go? Because I know that's an important part of this too, and generating some interest in it.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that the coaches wanted to do, was to bring interest to the track team and get some more athletes out for the team and show how great they can be. We had a ton of people there. The entire campus was filled with people watching our field events down at the lower turf. People were up at the track watching shot put. Parents, we did have some media coverage there. I know EBTV was there taking some footage of what was going on. That was great for them. We had our mayor was doing our announcements for us and handing out medals. So it was just a great community feel. And we're hoping that this is something that can continue through years.
How did the boys track team do during their meet season?
They had a pretty good season. They're another young core group. They do have some seniors that have really done a great job. Like I said, they're still competing, so they still have individuals that moving on to the meet of chance on Wednesday. One of the standouts, Brandon Phillip, senior, in the 400, 200, 100. I believe he's still competing in the meet of champs. And then we had a basketball player, coaxed out by his buddies to come out and try. And he was GMC champion in the high jump, and now he's moving on to the meet of champions in the high jump as well. So I think that's what Coach wanted to do, was to bring that interest to track in, to try and grab some of these other athletes, and it worked. We got a diamond in the rough there. But yeah.
Any individual standouts and accolades here, GMC-wise?
Sure. All red division was Brandon Phillip, Callan Davies, who's a junior, and Mike Vick, Devin Kuzmeter. Another outstanding case where they brought him in, and he's a first-year pole vaulter who's already over, I believe, 13 feet or 13.6. It's an outstanding accomplishment. I believe he's going to the meet of champions as well as a first-time pole vaulter. Those were our all GMC teams. Andrew Kalir was also named to the red division team. So we've got a lot of little individual standouts that do a great job for the team.
And on the girls' side?
Girls
had a
lot
of. I mean, you keep hearing the announcements in the morning. A lot of broken, records that were broken.
Yeah.
And that's that's a wonderful thing to see progress in terms of not just beating school records, but to see the interest in the girls' side of the track.
Yeah. Well, you see in the boys and girls team that the kids are buying into it, and they're becoming. They just want to get better. And you can see that between teammates and the camaraderie. They're out there every day working hard with each other. And like you said, there's multiple school records being broken every day. We've had, a ton, and some of those main contributors are, Chanel Coleman's a sophomore who's going to the meet of champions for the 100, 200. She's part of our 4x4. Mariah Shumet in the hurdles. Gloria Deneau, she, long jump, triple jump. She sprints. She does everything for her. She's an outstanding young lady. Lena Abrahams, Rachel DeGutz, Jasmine German, our whole 4x800 team that's going to be competing. They got accolades through the GMC. So you can see there's a ton of names being thrown out there, but they all are one cohesive unit. So it's an individual but a team sport at the same time. And the girls, they really did do a great job this year.
Where's the meet of champions held?
Meet of champions this year is going to be down at Central Regional High School.
Which is
it used to be in South Plainfield. That's down the shore, down by Toms River, Bayville area. But they have brand new facility, 8-lane track, so they're going down there to check that out this year.
Now you're a busy man arranging transportation going all over the place, especially now all these trips down to South Jersey.
Yeah, we do go, especially around this time in the state. They'll send you anywhere to go play anybody to beat the best. So thankfully we're there.
All right. Volleyball now. Always fun when I get a chance to do some of the volleyball games here against some of our best rivals. Seems like, and just, I don't know, you've been around long enough. I mean, you graduated from the high school. Back in your day, the St. Joe's EB rivalry was soccer. That was vicious. I mean, I can remember, injuries because just of the hard, tough tackles and plays. But now it has become, not even basketball anymore, but it's become volleyball. That's been the key, rivalry with St. Joe's.
Well, we've become, and St. Joe's have become, two top teams in the state. So we see each other multiple times throughout the year, twice in the regular season, in the GMCs, in the state tournament. So when it gets down to this time, these guys have seen each other. They know each other well. The coaches know each other. These kids play club together. So there's a little inside rivalry that and the kids do a great job. There's always handshakes at the end, but while they're on the court, it's a fierce rivalry, like you said.
And this year, we took both of the big prizes. We've been talking a lot about teams that have split either GMCs or state, tournament involvement, but this time we got both.
Actually, it's wrong on my part. We were red division champions.
Red division champions.
We're red division champions, but then we did happen to lose to them in the GMC tournament.
So then get this.
I'm sorry, but for us to come back and our kids had the resiliency to beat them.
Well, then we have a common theme of this show is that you lose one and you keep your focus.
They kept their focus and they really did play well. They won the same day that the girls won softball. So on our campus, we had 2 sectional champions, boys, Central Jersey volleyball champions over St. Joe's in 2 games. The kids just played outstanding. There was a lot of energy in the room, and it was good to see us come out with that. Some of our top contributors there, Yoni Auerbach, Tom Pappas, and Kyle Losner were named to the All-GMC teams. And tomorrow, they're going to be playing at South Brunswick in the state semifinals against Harrison, the North 2 champion.
Yeah, I know South Brunswick, the roof is a little taller because I can remember all the balls that kept getting bounced around in the rafters. When we did one of the games, it was a game, I guess, I don't remember the opponent, but it was not somebody that we should have been even close to. and the team just wasn't focused.
Yeah.
They won,
Right.
but it wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
And again, to kind of get those boys focused, going through injuries. I know Grant Kai out with the surgery and that too. So it's like to integrate new players to get the rotations back. Again, Coach Rutt's trying to get them focused for the bigger tournaments here.
Of course, and like any season, as any athlete knows, there's down times where they're just so long, you can't keep your focus for that long, and that's coach's job, is to try and keep everybody focused, and the athletes know that. But sometimes you hit a little bump, and it shows your resiliency. They were down in both of those games, and I believe it was against Piscataway.
Yeah, it was
and they had to battle back,
right.
knowing that they were the better team.
Well, even though you talk about the game here against St. Joe's in the sectional. They weren't exactly running away with it. Those were two hotly contested games,
Yep.
And they did win 2-0. So they fought and put them away when they could.
Right. It's they play tough. They play to win, and they understand when it's time. The seniors will get together in their huddles and talk and get everybody focused on what they have to do and how to win the game. And they've shown time and time again they can continue doing it. So let's hope that it moves on to tomorrow and it continues at the next round as well.
Yeah, so stay tuned for an addendum to this. We'll record maybe like a 2-minute clip and we'll keep it just as an update. What amazes me about volleyball is this is a sport we associate with California, or beach, Florida, California. And this has been going on now, I guess maybe I shouldn't be surprised. It's been going on since the late 90s, where East Brunswick has found success. And the feeder programs, we know that there are AAU track and there's there's CYO and AAU basketball, and there are travel soccer teams. Where do we go to develop this talent?
It's an upcoming sport, and you'll see a lot of those. They don't call them AAU, but they're club teams that these kids play for. And they're out in the Princeton area. The kids go down, they play at the beach during the summer. So all of that stuff is right that you said, and it gives these kids a lot of credit. They go out and find it. If they want to be better, they find places to do that.
Let me throw out just a topic here about the specialization of athletes. You talk about clubs and people who are playing multiple sports seasons in the same sport. And I can remember Heather O'Reilly being the starting guard on the basketball team.
Right.
And this is someone who is obviously going to have a D1 scholarship. She went to North Carolina, and she's playing basketball. Is that really important to take that downtime? You were an athlete, to take downtime from the sport that you're normally good in, or to get something else just to kind of break away from it?
I think it's great to be well-rounded. And you see a lot of studies out there, and some college teams talk about they like the well-rounded athlete. There's actually some studies out there from doctors saying that playing the same sport all year round, over and over, forces those injuries, those overuse injuries, and that's why they're seeing a lot of ACL tears and
Tommy John surgery for
Tommy
baseball.
Johns, because now you're not throwing, or you're doing that same motion not 3 months out of the year. You're now doing it 9, 10, 11 months out of the year, and your body's just wearing down a little bit. So it's great to be well-rounded. Try out as many things as you can. College scholarships are few and far between. Have fun in high school. Enjoy your sports. Have a good time. Build all of those great things that sports do for you, not only just to, for that Division I scholarship, but the teamwork, the camaraderie, that dealing with pressure, getting out of a tough situation. All that stuff you can learn from athletics, and then being well-rounded can actually is great for that.
All right, let's change gear here from volleyball. Let's go back outside to the lacrosse teams, both the boys and the girls teams. Maybe not as good a season as was hoped, but for the boys at least a plus 500 season, above 500 season.
We haven't, for boys lacrosse, struggled a little bit in recent years, and this may be their first time in a while they're above 500. 11-8, respectable record, made it into the state seeding. Unfortunately, lost the first round, but to be there show those underclassmen, that to work and strive and to get better, you've got a goal and a focus. Not only just to make the state tournament. Now you want to win one game, then 2 games, and then continue moving forward. Kind of like how our volleyball or softball team started. They need to start somewhere, and I think this is a great foundation. Coach Murray's doing a great job, getting these kids to buy into what they need to do. He spends a lot of his own time teaching the kids the fundamentals, and I think we're going to end up, having a pretty good year. And the seniors this year were great leadership. We lose a ton of them, but we've got a good group coming up, like I said. So this year, Tommy Bamer was first team all-conference. I believe he had the most goals on the team as an attackman. And then second team all-conference, we had freshman Sean Kelleher, Matt Burns, who's a senior, and Omar El Shikani, both second team GMC guys. So they showed our versatility throughout. We had some talent on that team, and unfortunately we lost in the semifinals of the GMC and lost in the first round. But like I said, it's an improving program, and we're seeing good things.
On the girls' side, somewhat disappointing season, I guess, for Coach Paluzzo and the girls' team, 3-11, a record. But at least you begin to see with the younger players' development, and I think maybe that's where the biggest leaps can occur in sports that are starting with this kind of young core and then building onto it.
Right. So there was senior leadership this year, and I think Coach Paluzzo trying to trust those seniors to kind of help and pull these young girls along because they were struggling at 3-11. But the girls never gave up. They played some very, very tough state powerhouse teams, and they never gave up.
Yeah, their schedule, I looked, doing the results when we did the game, looking at some of the prior results, they were going up against some real, I think that's where, out of the spring sports, where at least that I'm familiar with, that's where the biggest gap is between the really good schools and everybody else. There's really not much of a middle ground in girls lacrosse. You either have it or you don't. You just have these dominating players or you don't. And I don't know why that is. Why there isn't that kind of middle ground.
I'm not sure, and I don't know if it's the amount of feeder programs that are in the area or what it is, but we have one girl going Division II, Angela Costanzo, who did a great job this year scoring goals and being a leader. Yeah,
I think she had like 5 or 6 goals in the game we did on TV.
She was very close to her 100th point. She just missed out on that, unfortunately, in the season. But hey, she had a great career here at East Brunswick. We've had some outstanding girls lacrosse players. So once Coach Paluzzo, this is her second year, so once she kind of gets settled and gets ready to go, I think the girls are going to buy into the program, and I think we're going to continue to move forward here.
Yeah, it was an interesting story. I'm talking to Coach Paluzzo about how she actually just walked on literally with no real prior organized experience with lacrosse when she was in college.
Yeah, she played. I believe she played a year or two at high school here at East Brunswick.
Oh, she did. Okay.
And then she did go off to college, and she played for
she did graduate East Brunswick.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, she did. And I believe she played for a Division III championship team. So she's got all the intangibles out there, and she knows the game, and she's just got to get these girls, like I said, to buy in. Young girl, Caitlin Robertson, was named to the first team All GMC, one of the younger players. So that's a good focal point there of the team, and we got to continue to move forward.
All right, so now we're going to talk about a sport where, unfortunately, very few fans go out because I don't think they even allow any fans to kind of walk the course during the golf season. So let's talk about the boys and girls golf teams here.
It's actually funny you say that. I had a day where there was nothing at home. So I said, I'm going to go watch golf. I went out there, and they told me I couldn't go out there and see the team.
And you're the athletic director, so well, that was something Coach Bohannon used to always make jokes at the awards and the recognition assemblies that the first fan that comes out will be the first fan that comes out.
Yep. So it was nice. I actually made it out there, and the girls were crossing paths, so I jumped on a coach's cart and was able to see some of the action. And we've got some great golf teams, and this is one of those other sports where it's so individualized that these kids, they go to country clubs, they go to tournaments on their own, they do whatever they need to do to make sure that they're prepared for the season. And it's just, we always have great golf teams, boys and girls. This year for the boys, they're Red Division champs, GMC finalists. They had a great season. They made some noise in the state tournament a little bit, had some individuals. They didn't have any outstanding players. They had a bunch of just solid players that had low scores, that they stuck together, and they really played well throughout the year. So I know Jeremy Steenvoorden was named to the all-conference team, and then Andrew Honey and Brandon Way were on the all-red division team, and those were guys that kind of led the group throughout the season. So again, Coach Henning and the golf team with another great season, and they continue to work.
And on the girls' side, a little more success here. GMC champions, and you made a note, 4-time.
4-time GMC champions.
Is that 4-time back-to-back?
Back to back. Yep.
Okay.
Coach Mott, very proud of that, and his girls this year, always great things to say. They had Sayaka Carpenter was one of their studs. They had a stud on the team. She actually played in the individual tournament. She tied for 4th in the entire state in the individual golfing. So she had a great year. I know she's going off to college to play. Just an outstanding young lady, and she helped some of these young girls really prepare for the game. She's knows so much about the game, and she's a coach of the game that she helps Coach Mott, helps these girls get get through tough times. All Red Division, all GMC honors to one Saroka, Sophia Hugh, and Alex Caro. All got some honors there, and they play in both the GMC and the Central Jersey League. So they ended up winning the GMC and I think taking second in that Central Jersey League. But they really did have a great season. They're fun to watch.
Now, we're coming up on the summer, and I guess everybody thinks an athletic director can just kind of kick back, relax, and enjoy the summer, but that's not the case for you. Tell us what you're going to be doing this summer.
This summer, we really want to take care of schedules. Make sure we take care of fall schedules, make sure they're ready to go because that's the next season coming up, and you look at your winter and spring to see where you can fit games in and facilities use and all that stuff to make it work. A lot of small things. A little, like we said earlier, attention to detail. To make sure that so that we can make sure that we don't have any mishaps with transportation, and I know there were some mistakes this year that I had made, so there's some things that I have to tighten up being a second-year guy to where I have to focus some of my thoughts to make sure that, it is seamless. It's a transition that the kids and the coaches don't have to worry about, and we have everything set for them. They just have to go out there and compete and play. Now,
with the fall season coming up, what's the dates or kind of procedures here for athletes who are preparing for fall sports?
So July 22nd, you got to have all your paperwork in, physical paperwork, or for repeater form, if your physical is still within 365 days. Please have that in because fall sports start football August 10th this year. It's opening day the state gives us, and all the other fall sports are August 15th. So those are our first day of tryouts for 9 through 12. Make sure that those athletes get to talk to those coaches to find out specifically when they're starting, where they're starting, what paperwork they need. They can always stop by my office. We'll help them out because we don't have that issue where paperwork's not in and then you can't try out on those days.
Are the forms available on the district website?
Absolutely. ebnet.org. Click on athletics. You'll see the athletic physical packet for next year on there. You print that out. Bring it to your doctor. Have them fill everything out. Send it over to us over to Financial Services, and we'll take care of it from there.
Any facilities issues? I mean, we're talking about the renovations. I know we were looking forward to the renovations in the gymnasium being completed when we were doing this the spring wrap-up show last year. Any renovations or field issues anywhere in the district?
No, not at all. We're all set. The gym is perfect. It's in great shape, brand new, state-of-the-art. Did a great job with that, and all of our outside turf fields.
The banners gotta come back. I'm going to keep busting on you. Those banners with all our state and sectional and GMC champions.
When they go up, they're going to look great. They're just,
okay.
Nice stuff takes time to get done.
What you can say is you're waiting for the results of tomorrow and the days coming up to update them. So yes,
it's a great space, and when we have all those accomplishments back out there, it's really going to be great.
I'd like to take the time to thank the EBTV technical crew. They come out and support all 3 sports seasons, fall, winter, and spring. They allow us to come and share these wrap-up shows with you. Also, that the games that we broadcast are available on demand, as well as this program and other community programs. Go to the ebtv.org website and click Video on Demand, and you can watch from anywhere. Watch it on your tablet, watch it from college, and you can catch up on all the events here at East Brunswick High School. For Chris Yannazzo, I'm Ken Saroka, and thank you for joining us for Sports Talk, and have a great summer.